Salutations.
Hello, bonjour. Ça va? Comment ça va?
Welcome to Needles at the Ready. I am Kevin.
And I'm Ray.
Today is Sunday, June 11th.
Yes.
This is one of our episodes, and the episode numbers is like...
They make sense when you look at them sequentially.
So technically... Oh, this is 88. Episode
88?
So, welcome back,
Wonderful.
friends. Welcome to any new friends. We hope you're doing well.
Wasn't there that movie, it was a football movie,
Okay.
and the quarterback had trouble, maybe some trouble, like throwing the ball and like hitting his target, and the coach... I don't know. There was a scene in the movie where the receiver was wearing number 88, and it focused on like that diamond that in between the 8s and the 8s. I just remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind immediately after you said episode 88.
I don't know what that would be from.
Neither do I. It was probably one of those like underdog movies where
like Remember the Titans or...
No, when you're like really bad and then you get really good and
Rudy?
It's all inspirational.
Was it Rudy? That's like the most inspirational football movie I could think of is Rudy.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Rudy, but
Well,
I don't think it was Rudy.
On that note, welcome back, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you're all doing well. It's been
I know.
2 weeks. It feels like it's been a really long time since
It
we
has.
sat down in front of the iPad and chatted with you. So I'm glad
Things have been like...
to be back.
Yeah, it feels... Even though we weren't.
I know,
gone.
but it feels weird.
I know.
Like,
So our last episode 87, was done as a live because we just had so much to talk about and we were still on that high coming back from Montreal and wanted to have that interaction with everybody. So if you haven't watched that yet, it is an episode. We do share our finished objects and what we're working on and stuff, as well as our lovely acquisitions and some stories. But today is just going to be...
a norm.
A norm.
And today I have 2 whips.
I have to sneeze. Did I take my allergy medicine?
I don't know. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, today I have one finished object, and I have 3 whips.
You know what we did not do?
What?
We didn't pick winners for the spring cleaning wow. We'll do that next episode.
Darn it.
I know, I totally forgot.
Well, if we have time, we can do it at the end.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll jump into admin
Speaking
stuff.
of, yes.
Or do we do... We literally just talked about this, or do we talk about our... Let's talk about our 2
Let's
weeks.
just do whatever we wanted to do.
So, over the last 2 weeks,
do.
it's been a little busy, right? So, we're going to go backwards again, because it's
easy.
Chronologically, it's just going to work chronologically.
Yeah.
So, yesterday was...
Didn't Max have some trouble saying that word?
He did. So, yesterday was Worldwide Knit and Public Day. So, we headed to our local yarn store with your mom.
Yes.
So we went to Knit New Haven, who they set up a nice little table. You bring your chair, you sit out in front of the store. So we did that for a couple hours. We had Haven Hot Chicken.
We did.
Which is the anniversary of us trying Haven Hot Chicken for the first time. It was 2 years ago with Kim and Kate. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time we met Kate.
No, Kim.
Kim.
Yeah. I think that was the first time we hung out with Kim.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that was the first time we had Haven Hot Chicken. First time knitting out in public.
Like for an event like that. For Worldwide Knit and Public Day.
So it was nice yesterday.
The weather.
Yeah.
Weather
was
beautiful.
good. Yeah. The sun, we definitely got some sun. And what's cool is I know a lot of stores do this, but they do like the yarn bombing. And because Knit New Haven is on a main road in New Haven, there's like street signs and stuff in front of their store. So they pulled down all of the old yarn bombing from last year and was putting up some new stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody, I forgot what her name was. She made a beautiful, faded rainbow kind of scarf thing that she wrapped around the pole. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I had a little FOMO, so I'm going to get something together so I can add my little something to a pole next time we go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then I made some purchases because I had... So your mom gave me a gift card for my birthday.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I'm 21.
And all of those people, who's shared their birthday wishes for you. I thought that was really special. Thank you all. That was really nice. brought a tear to my eye. You are loved.
And then I had Knit New Haven has a like rewards program. So once you spend a certain amount of money, you get a $25 knit bucks. So that was about to expire. So I used that. So I bought a bunch of yarn yesterday and barely spent any of my own money.
Isn't that lovely?
So it was a good day.
It was a good day.
We had our niece Reese had her recital yesterday.
Yeah.
So we went to that. It was really great. There were 24 routines with throughout an hour and a half.
Yes. So hi Reese, if you're
Reese.
watching, she asked to shout her out. So we're going to shout her out today. It was really nice. I teared up a few times.
I did during one specifically.
Yeah.
I told her that she started to get me teary-eyed during the contemporary piece.
Yeah. It was very, very cute.
Yeah.
It was a collection of, kids from all age groups, as well as some dancers that dance in the company.
Right.
So there were some really nice pieces that were put together, very choreographed, and
yeah, it was a good time.
It was nice. I cried at the end, that last one too. It was good. But in a good way.
Yeah.
Tears of joy.
We went back to your brother's house.
We did.
And we just ate, he grilled. We had some food, some drinks, played some frisbee, knit a little bit there.
Yeah.
I
knit the entire
recital
the whole time.
Yeah, and there was
I'll show you.
There was a little baby.
She was cute.
Right in front of us, and she was enamored with the knitting. She kept looking over her father's shoulder, watching.
Yeah, it was really cute. But it was dark, so it was my first time knitting. I can knit without looking, when I'm watching TV, but I've never tried to knit
I feel like you did.
Really? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I knit at a baseball game
because you had dropped stitches afterwards. I don't remember if it was a movie. But someplace I just remember.
Anyway, I had a very successful time. I might have split one stitch, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. I had fun. Yeah. It was nice. It was cute. We had a great time. The picnic get together at my brother's house was amazing. It was always nice to see them.
Yeah. It was a long day.
Yeah.
We were out from 10 to 10.
And we ate a lot of food.
We did.
And I'm really excited for our leftovers.
Me too. So then what else? So that was yesterday. Wednesday was my birthday.
Yep.
I turned 21. So that was cool.
Yeah, you look okay for your age.
I know, right?
Yeah. Maybe a little older than 21, but you're seasoned.
Oh, with salt and pepper.
With salt and pepper. Seasoned with salt and pepper.
And then last weekend we did IKEA. We think
we did IKEA.
Oh, we had Stratford Day.
Oh, yeah,
Milford, or not Milford.
No. Main Street, the Stratford Main Street Festival.
When we were growing up, it was just called Stratford Day. So we did that. There were a bunch of vendors and food trucks, so we walked around there for a couple hours.
We did make purchases there, but we ate them already.
We did. We had cookies from a local small-owned bakery called Drunk Alpaca. Mm-hmm. And I think that was pretty much our 2 weeks. I don't know, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I had a little creative moment. Maybe I'll count that as a finished object. Your cheesecake.
Oh yes, Ray bought a chocolate swirl cheesecake and made it a turtle cheesecake.
Yes.
By putting on some caramel and some pecans.
So Kevin loves turtle cheesecake. So if anybody out there wants
cheesecake.
to ship us some cheesecake, we would not be upset. No. Don't do that. It would sit in our P.O. box for a little while. So yeah, Junior's cheesecakes are probably some of our favorites. They're in New York. They're pretty famous cheesecake place, but they send some of our supermarkets carry Junior's cheesecakes. So I got one of those. I was trying to find the turtle cheesecake. One year we had the best for your birthday. I got a beautiful
peanut
turtle.
Butter. No, it was peanut butter.
I thought it was turtle.
No, it was.
Well, that's why I did this whole thing.
Oh, well, no, we got a peanut
butter.
butter.
All right, well, next time I'll have to remind me, everyone.
It was the one in Shelton.
I'll have to do a peanut butter cheesecake. It was in Shelton.
And they're still there.
Good.
But they're in the restaurant.
Yeah, so it was. I couldn't go there the next year. I went there the next year to get your cheesecake, and they didn't have anything.
The baker who ran that bakery, closed down his bakery, and he bakes for a restaurant in Shelton. Oh. At least the last I knew of. So his cheesecakes are still sold there.
We should go.
Okay.
All right, date night. So anyway, I thought it was turtle. What do I know?
I do like turtle.
Good. Not as much as
I didn't know
butter.
that
was the inspiration. That's why I kept saying it. That's why I felt it was such a special thing to do for you. But
it was very special.
It wasn't. So anyway, I got this swirled cheesecake, and I put caramel sauce on top and some pecans, and the two of us had some birthday cheesecake for Kevin.
Yes.
So I'm going to count that as a finished object.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. And then, so I just spent the day. You worked. I spent the day home. I got a new Switch that connects to the TV. Mm-hmm. So I played some games on the Switch, and I've been playing some Diablo 4. Actually, quite a bit, too. Yeah. That's kind of been... And I've been dyeing up a bunch of yarn, which we'll show later. And I think that's been our 2 weeks. So we're going to jump into Add Mini stuff.
Okay, what if I had more things to add? You didn't give me a chance. I don't have anything more to add, but you just...
Well, because I know how your 2 weeks have been. Because they've kind of been like my 2 weeks since we lived together and share the weeks. So I think we covered everything.
Great.
So let's talk Add Mini stuff.
Yes.
We wrapped up the spring cleaning mail. We did not choose winners because we fail.
No, but we'll see if we can do that by the end of the podcast. If not, we'll do it by the next.
Yeah. And our Let's Hear It for the Boys kicked off, and we have some goodies coming for that, which I'm excited to show the next podcast.
And for those of you who didn't catch it, our live, we had asked a couple of podcasts ago for just throwing it out there if anybody was interested in trying their hand at maybe designing a little logo or something that we could use for Let's Hear It for the Boys. And oh geez,
I have it.
No, here it is.
Okay.
And we didn't ask if we can share the person's name, so I'm not going to do that. But we chose a winner for the logo, and we are going to have some merch this time around with the logo on it. So I'm not going to say what we got, but we got a couple of things that will be appearing in our shop soon. If you want to help support the channel and kind of support the dudes. So this is our logo. If you haven't seen it yet,
it's so
cute. Good. So this is me wearing my Radari. This is Kevin wearing his John sweater. Yep. And then if you look, these are projects that we've all done. Do you guys recognize that one?
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's the Woolens and Nosh Advent sock set right there.
Yep.
So we chose this person as a winner. We did contact everybody else who had participated and shared our thank you with them as well. But keep your eyes peeled, so we have a really cool logo. And that knit along is taking place or make along. You can crochet as well or sew or whatever.
Yep.
It's taking place on Ravelry is where we're going to choose our winners. But we do have a hashtag as well if you want to share some inspiration. And that on Instagram, that's hashtag NATRBoys2023. And then on Ravelry, you can follow the link down below in our show notes to get you to that our group page. And there's a chatter thread and an FO thread.
And speaking of show notes,
and we have some amazing prizes.
We will, yes. Speaking of show notes, they're always down below.
Yes.
All patterns in shops that we talk about are linked. There are also coupon codes, which I keep forgetting to say. And it's just some of them off the top of my head is Trilogy Yarns, Scrappy Angel.
Always Queenie Believe.
Always Queenie Believe. There's 10.
There's a bunch.
Definitely check that below and use those coupon codes. Take advantage of those. And I think that's Add Mini stuffish, but we'll do two things before we get into our projects. So last time we talked about two different things that we participated in. So on our way back from Montreal, we stopped in Vermont. We got to spend the day with Michelle of Woolens and Nosh, which it was very lovely for her to share her time with us.
Yeah.
And we got to dye 6 skeins of some self-striping yarn. We picked the colors, and we are going to be giving 2 away this episode.
Yes.
So here's
we didn't
what
show
we
these
dyed.
Yes.
This is called And Then Our Car Got Stolen. So it's got a blue.
It's so good.
A super light gray, like a tangerine orange, and a dusty pink in here. Do you have a picture of...
Yes.
Okay.
So look at, we're on the same page. We've done this before. So we got 6 skeins. We're going to be giving 2 of these away today. So keep your ears peeled. We're going to put one aside for a prize for Let's Hear It for the Boys, and then we each kept one.
Right.
And we gave one to my mother.
Correct.
So if you counted, that would be 6.
It is.
So my mom started hers already. So this is what it looks like knit up a little bit. You can see how the colors kind of play. Isn't it good?
Yeah. It's super cute.
It's super cute.
Very, very happy with these.
Yeah.
So happy that we got to try our hand at some self-striping. So,
What a fun time.
to enter, I would like you all to go to Michelle's site and tell us what your favorite colorway is on her site.
Great. You can't use these.
You can't use these because they're not on her site because they are not for sale.
That's right.
So that is that.
Cool. And we'll pick two winners.
Yes. All right. And then the next thing is...
So how are we going to, organize the entries? So we usually choose a word
to
filter through.
All right.
How about you say...
Woolen Zanache. No.
How about you say Woolen Zanache, Woolens, and Nosh, Nosh.
And then type the favorite colorway.
Yeah. And then we'll filter by Woolen Zanache, and if you have a colorway there, then you'll be our winner.
Yes.
Great.
Good job.
Okay.
All right. So next up is, if you ordered this and you haven't received it, it will be time to look away.
This has been incredible to see everybody receiving these boxes.
So, the Needles at the Ready and Lake Arson collab has shipped.
The mystery podcasters box.
At least 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I believe. So most people would have received this. So we're going to show now.
So this is so
if you didn't receive it,
I know people have been posting on Instagram and stuff. So we are gonna show it. We're not turning ourselves black and white or anything like that. We did open one box already. We each got one, which
this
was super
one is
exciting.
unopened.
So this is how it comes.
So the sticker
It's so
says
cute.
Needles at the Ready. And then
In their font that they use.
So here's the inspiration. I am the owl, and I'm wearing my So Basic and knitting a shawl, and I'm sitting on books. Ray is the stag wearing his ranger cardigan, knitting socks. And this is...
It's so good.
me. That's you.
Thank you.
So this is our sock sets with Progress Keeper. So again, if you haven't received it and you don't want to be spoiled, please look away. We're going to show the yarn in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
So this is Mysterious Kevin. And this is Vincent's Highland Coup. And then mine came with a Progress Keeper that is a book.
And this is Mysterious Ray and Emma Stone. Mine came with a coffee cup. Look how great. So beautiful colors. The colors are not, the camera's not really doing the colors justice. It was so special to us. But wait, there's more. They do such a great job with these boxes. It's absolutely
So it came with the sticker,
crazy.
the pin, and the detail on it.
Is amazing.
So, wait, but you put them side by side.
Yeah.
So they're opposites.
So the yarns are on the same.
Yarn's on the opposite side. The needles are on the opposite side.
It's like we're coordinating.
And then a candle that we chose the scent for.
Yep. I wish that there's smell-o-vision.
Oh.
And I know that they had limited quantities, so a lot of you weren't able to get them. But my candle is Into the Woods. It's a very Into the Woods kind of smell. I think there's sandalwood and stuff in here.
Mine is Seaside.
Yeah. So this is a Canadian maker out of Quebec and in Montreal, actually.
Yes.
The candle company is
Is it this?
This is no, that means soy candle. Oh, Muji.
Muji. Moodgie. There. And then the last thing that it came with.
We'll try to have that shop link down below as well. This is so cute.
Look, both of us. So, yes. So that was, like, couldn't have been happier with the way everything turned out.
The way that it was packaged inside the box had Ray on one side, Kevin on the other side. It was very, very well done. And thank you all for sharing these. Thank you all for purchasing them. That, like, it meant so much to us.
Yeah.
I want to do another one.
Okay, relax, Felicia.
They were lovely.
Yes. No, it was a special
Yeah.
collab. I was super thrilled with it. So, and thank you guys for supporting it, really.
Oh, my God. And to see them and, like, posting on Instagram, it's like, it's been incredible. We've been trying to share everything to our stories, but sometimes if, you know, it gets a little...
It does. Away from us.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some knitting. We've been speaking for 21 minutes.
Really? Have we?
Yes. So, you have an FO, so you can start.
I have an FO. This is a test. Let me start over. This is a test knit for Beth McDonald Stone. This is the Parrish Lines 2.0, and it is a fingering weight sweater. The pattern is not yet released. She's playing with some ideas for a release date or time frame. So it may be coming in the fall. It may be coming sooner. Just follow Beth McDonald Stone, or I will certainly post on Instagram when the pattern does become live for everybody. But I will stand up in a moment. The cool thing about this pattern is that it uses a combination of fingering weight and worsted weight yarn. The color work is done in worsted weight. From her perspective, she said that she feels that the color work kind of pops more with the worsted weight, and I couldn't agree more. I was very confused. I was like, how is this going to work? But it worked like magic. So the main color that I used is Holst Super Soft in slate gray. I have a ton left over. And I had some leftover, a couple of balls that we bought a while back of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in their worsted weight. This is Dove Heather. So they were 50-gram balls. I believe I used 2. This might be my second one.
Okay.
So it didn't use much at all. I followed the pattern to a T except for the sleeves. So I wanted to add a little pop of color on the sleeves. So I did 1x1 ribbing for 2 rows, and then I did a tubular bind off because I thought it looked kind of cool, and it matches the like it's tubular bind offs are so nice because it like kind of rounds that edge.
Yeah,
makes it much more finished. I love the collar. It's just 1x1 color work. There's no ribbing or anything like that. It looks super cool. And this is the sweater. I knit the 4th size.
It fits very well.
It fits. I think it fits extremely well. The yarn I'm very, very impressed with.
Yeah.
I love the details here. You know, with the points kind of going in different directions, and then the bottom. So the bottom is not ribbing as well, or it's 1x1 color work, and I was a little bit. I'll be honest. I was a little bit concerned about the bottom because you can see my shirt underneath, but. I was a little bit concerned about the bottom because when I blocked it, I pinned it flat, to have it kind of like hanging out like this. But because there's no ribbing, it flared out a little bit. Then when I was looking more at, and you could see it's a little bit flared because I have to reblock this after doing that. But looking in the pattern, the sample in there has a rolled bottom. So I was like, oh, let me re-wet it. So I just re-wet the bottom, let it kind of do its thing. And I actually really like the rolled bottom. You have a little bit of interest right here, and then it rolls. And like I said, again, I did the sleeves just with a little contrast there. I'm really, really excited to wear this. Right now it's supposed to be 80 degrees, so I'm a little bit warm. It's not sweltering, that's the nature of, using non-superwash like real wool. So the Holst yarn, this is my first time using this yarn. A lot of people say that it's, a lot of people talk about how it's got the spinning oils in it and, some tips and tricks on how to wash it. And it's really magical when you do wash it. The fabric that it creates is so nice, and it really blooms a lot. Like, you can't, before I washed it, you could see we were able to see through it.
Yeah, you could see his skin.
Yeah,
through
the sweater, and you can't now. It filled in really nicely. It did soften up. It's still rustic.
Yeah, but it did, it changed.
Yeah, for me, it's close to skin soft, or it's close to skin wearable. For me, I don't have a problem unless it's super super scratchy. I usually don't have a problem with it close to skin. I probably wouldn't wear this without a t-shirt underneath.
Right.
But for my arms, and even rolling up the sleeves, which is usually what I do, it's not causing any problems whatsoever, or any kind of discomfort. So I'm extremely happy with the pattern. I'm so happy to test knit it. I did start the project on Ravelry. I have to add all of my notes and everything in there, but I did put my gauge and some information about the yarn and the needle sizes that I used. I did follow the pattern, like I said, exactly. And all of her measurements for me, and I have a 40-inch chest, so all of her measurements for me worked out perfectly. I did get gauge with the yarn, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm super thrilled with it.
What size? I know you said you made the 4th size. What size chest is that? Like, how much positive ease does that have?
Good idea. Let me pull up the actual pattern. I'm really thrilled with it. This is my first time wearing it. So one thing I do have to do is I want to put I believe there were some short rows built into this, but not enough for me to really tell the difference between the front and the back. I don't think. I haven't worn it enough. So I have a stitch marker in the back. I'll show you in a sec. And we have them somewhere, those tags, like handmade tags. I want to just put on the inside of that so I don't have any problems. So this is size 4. I did for a 48 inch.
Okay, so you got 8 inches of positive ease?
That's not possible. Maybe. It's flexible regarding each. Suggests approximately 2 to 6 inches of ease, but knit what you are most comfortable wearing.
So let's actually think about this.
No, I did the size 3.
Okay. No,
I did the size 4.
So when you started knitting this, you hadn't remeasured your chest. Your chest was like a 41, 42.
Yeah.
So if you wanted the 6 inches, that makes sense that you would have picked the size that had 48.
Or 48. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like there's 4 inches of positive ease in that.
No, it's definitely not.
Maybe.
You know what? It might be. I want to. I didn't like. I pinned it. So I will redo it. I don't think it needs any adjustments.
No,
honestly,
not at all.
I think it fits nice. I do. It is. It is roomy. Like, yeah. I do have room, which I like. I don't need a fitted sweater. I don't have the body for it. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to wear, to Rhinebeck, where if it's a nice day, wear, with shorts and stuff.
Good job.
Thanks. So that's that. I'm going to take it off now because it's extremely warm.
And how many whips do you have?
3. 4. 3.
3. So then you should probably go again.
Here's the back. This is where I put my stitch marker just to kind of differentiate, because you can't really tell what the front or the back is.
Can I see?
Yeah.
And then where's the back? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna. I kind of blocked it like this. I pulled down the collar
right there.
a little bit.
You'll know by this.
Oh, my beginning of the round.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think, don't you think a nice little handmade
handmade
tag would look nice? Oh,
here
are my floats.
It would be great, but that's a way for you to tell in the meantime.
How'd I do with my floats?
Good job.
Thanks. The pattern was very, very well written. I was extremely, extremely happy with it. So, it took me a little bit. But hey.
All right.
Okay.
Whip number 1 for you.
Whip number 1 for me. Let's go to a new cast on. This is finished one sweater. Gonna cast on another sweater. I'm hoping to have this done also by like September, October-ish.
Okay.
This is living in my Portland leather bag. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous bag. It's a huge bag.
It's a fantastic size.
Yeah. Once I get more yarn and stuff in here, I will be just so happy. This is the multigrain by Knit Spot
or Ann Hansen.
Ann Hansen. Mm-hmm. Let me just pull this up here. I've been sitting. So this is multigrain. This one is really, really cool. It's got a lot of ease. It makes a nice, like, dense fabric. She calls it like a grandpa style, you know? And it has some really neat detailing in the raglan. There's some cable detailing there. And then there is an option to do a contrast color for those little stripes there, like to break up the ribbing and stuff. I opted not to do that, and that is an option in the pattern. Also an option in the pattern is to do this crew neck here or a V-neck. So I'm not sure. It's knit bottom up in the round, which is nice. I am knitting the 4th size for and she calls for here this will lead into my next thing as well. I created, you know, we love our good notes. It's kind of where we keep all of our things. I created a little crafting journal in here because I've not been doing very well with keeping track like I did last year, writing everything down for like a project page.
Yeah.
So I made a template in GoodNotes so that I can start using this as my notebook, because I always have the iPad with me, always referring to the patterns. So I thought it might. I'll see what happens. This is my first one, but here's my template. This is what I have. So I started it on June 8th. This is the picture of the pattern. I'm planning on having this set up so I can put a picture of me or the finished object like next to it, so you can see that it's completed. This is the name of the pattern, and if I click on it, it'll take me to Ravelry. So you can open that link and take me to Ravelry so I can see the pattern. And then I just kind of broke it apart. So, you know, the size. So I'm knitting the 4th size, which is a 43.5 inch chest circumference. I have a 40-inch chest, so that'll give me 3.5 inches of positive ease. This pattern calls for 4 to 7 inches of positive ease. However, the next size up in the pattern was a 47, and I just thought 7 inches of positive ease might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
so we'll see what happens. I just started, you know, I have some opportunities to measure gauge again. I did get gauge on my swatch. I did swatch appropriately. She has you swatch in... Oh, it's not here.
I know. I actually was looking
downstairs
for mine
somewhere.
and I didn't see it. So
the pattern has you swatching in stockinette as well as the patterns, the textured stitch or pattern, and I got gauge on both, which is great. So the yarn that I'm using is Bare Naked Wools. It's in the Stone Soup DK. This is what we got 2 years ago at Rhinebeck. Yeah.
No, I think we got it this year.
No, sir.
No, really?
Nope. Yep.
Okay.
We got these. This is our first year at Rhinebeck. We got these. No,
we got them this. No, we got them this past year. We got them in 2022 because it wasn't our first Rhinebeck. That's when we saw the booth.
We've only been to Rhinebeck twice, right?
Right. So that's when Kate had told us she had used their Stone Soup DK, I think.
You're right.
Or she used Bare Naked Wools to make a sweater, I think, for her husband.
So we had show and tell at the house, and we had everybody. We passed this around because it's amazing.
Yeah, it feels lovely.
Yeah, it is DK. It's 80% wool. It's a combination of Rambouillet, Columbia, Lincoln, and Churro. It's also 15% alpaca and llama, and 5% tencel, silk, bamboo, and bison. So it's got
Everything.
a ton in
That's
it.
why it's called Stone Soup.
Remember that book? Where, like, you would just added a bunch of stuff to make the stone soup? Like, there was a whole book about it. Anyway, the colorway is marble. I think we got 6 skeins each, so we should have plenty. I should have plenty of yarn.
Yeah.
And I'm using the recommended needle size, so US 5 for the cuffs and the hem, and probably the collar, and then a US 7, 4.5 millimeter for the body. So like I said, it is a bottom-up raglan, and the sleeve, so you knit bottom up. The way that usually it works is you knit bottom up, and then you have your sleeves already knitted. You attach the sleeves out here, and then you join in the round, and then you continue to knit them together. So the sleeves get knit first. They don't necessarily have to be, but that's how it comes up in the pattern. And I wanted to kind of see how it worked out. So I started already. Has a really cool like broken rib texture. And the so I'm doing my increases now. I'm really excited. The yarn blooms nicely when it's blocked, and it gets even softer. It's already very, very soft, and this is just so squishy.
Yeah, it's a very nice base.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I got so far. These were picked up at in Montreal, in Knit City, Montreal, and I thought because of Pride Month, this would be really nice to put on the ends of my needles. Love is love. And that's all I got so far. So that's my new cast on. I'm really excited about this. This was maybe a day?
I don't know.
Or 2 of knitting?
Probably 2.
Yeah, it goes quick. So I'm using my Chow Goose. I usually do small circumferences knitting for my sleeve. So this is a 12-inch circular, or I made a 12-inch circular to do that. You can use, obviously, magic loop is another really good method, or DPNs until you get to the point that you can't fit them there anymore. But nice. Anyway, so yeah, stay tuned.
Okay. So my first whip
is so good. Yeah.
A cardigan. This I'm doing the test knit of the Bumpy Cardigan by Maxim Cyr. I saw this in person at Pick Up Every Stitch in Mount Kisco, New York, when Max and Vincent were down doing their trunk show. Saw it again in Montreal and wore it both times, and love the cardigan. So this was the one project to rule them all the week after our last podcast, because it's the only thing I worked on that week.
But you made so much progress.
So last time you all saw it, I was here. And now I have the body done. Let's throw it on.
Yeah, please.
So this cardigan's not meant to button or fully be closed. It's supposed to be a more relaxed cardigan. So here we go. Here's the back. And my fade.
Your fade is so good.
So what I did, there's not a lot of room to twist.
There's not a lot of room here.
All right. No. So I am knitting the 5th size, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So I'm knitting the 5th size, which is for a 45.25 inch chest. I have about a 42. So 5th size is meant to fit 42 to 46 inches. That's what I went with. It is a DK weight pattern. So I used the Le Garçon British DK in the color Louis shade, which is a really super deep navy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And the stripes, the I-cord stripes, are made using Spin Cycle, and I have no idea what the color is because I don't have.
Isn't it something like Vacation? Something?
It may. I don't have the band with me, and I don't have a skein up here, or do I?
Yeah, right there.
No, that's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's okay. It's downstairs. Okay. But this is Louis shade. So I have one more skein of it left. unskeined or unwound. So what I did is, looking at the skeins that I had, there were some much darker bits and very light. So I started with a light bit, went really dark, and then I decided I was going to use for the body all of the color sections that have a dark color in it. So even though this looks lighter, it has a dark gray. This has like a dark brown in it. Same thing. So I did that to use as much of the dark as possible. And now on the sleeves, once I pick them up, they will have started here with the darkest color that I have, and I'm going to use only light.
It's going to look so
like
good.
This color as much as I can for the sleeves. Here's the two balls that I have. So like this one, you can see I probably don't have to use anything but this, because there's barely any dark color, and if there is, it's right in the middle. So I'll just use this and finish off the sleeves. And I do have some light left in here that if I need to, I can access that. But it's been thank you. It's been super enjoyable to knit. The I-cords do take a bit of time, but I don't hate them. I love them quite.
This would actually make a nice blanket too.
No, I wouldn't. Can you imagine doing this type of I-cord? I mean, we've done 1,000 stitch I-cords.
Yes, so. No, I get you for sure.
But that often.
If somebody else wants to do it and send it, I wouldn't mind snapping up the blanket.
And I think the only thing I did a little bit differently is I took off about a half an inch of the ribbing. Mm-hmm. It called for 3 inches, and just knowing where it was going to hit me, I thought that 2.5 would be suitable for this. So now I will probably tomorrow, if not tonight, maybe pick up the sleeves and start working on those.
Oh, it's so good.
And that was also...
Do we know when that's coming out?
I don't.
Okay.
And that was also living in my Portland leather bag. But
these are great bags.
Mine is not a waxed canvas, so it's a little more flexible than Ray's.
Yeah.
And if you do like Portland leather, I would keep an eye out, because it's Father's Day soon, so they'll probably have a Father's Day sale. Mm. And they typically have pretty good sales. And that's why we got these, because they were on sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now we're doing round robin?
Yeah.
Okay. My 2 projects are both in this bag here. This is from Matterroot. I've been using this so much that it's starting to get like some patina on the wax canvas, which is so cool. I love these bags. We clip these to our, I think I mentioned last time, to our little Delicu bag, like over the shoulder bags.
The mini messenger.
Yeah, and they just like hang, so you have them, you have them with you. So anyway, all right, I have 2 projects in here. I think you've seen both of these. Mm-hmm. So yesterday I was talking about knitting on my sock. I'm still working on the second sock with Kevin's colorway. This is the first one done. I showed this already, I think, last time. This is
Frozen Grasshopper.
Frozen Grasshopper. Yeah. Which you actually, I think, didn't you just dye some up?
Yeah, I have it here.
Oh, great. So I wanted to get to the point where I can... Yeah, it's Frozen Grasshopper. So this is what it's like knit up. It's really cool.
It actually will probably look a bit different. This is an 80-20, and I dyed it on 75-25 fingering. Mm-hmm. I also dyed it on 75-25 DK.
Oh, you did?
But I haven't put that in the shop yet. I have to take pictures and stuff.
Okay.
I think it's drying still, actually. Yeah, it's still drying.
So I wanted to this is what I have done so far. I wanted to get to a point where I can just knit in the round, knowing that we were going to do knit in public and go to the recital. So I did the cuff. I did about 20 inches of a 1x1.
You didn't do
no, not 20 inches. 20 rows of a 1x1 rib. And then I did so I finished the rib, and so I did all of this yesterday during the hour and a half that we were there in the dark. And I think I did pretty well. for knitting in the dark.
Good job.
Thanks so much. It's just, I just love having a small project like this, like a vanilla sock on the needles. Now, I don't think you'd be able to tell until I point this out, and I'm going to point this out right now. So this first sock, I did a 1x1 twisted rib for the cuff. And when I cast on the second sock, I had forgotten that I did a twisted rib. So I just ended up doing a 1x1 rib. You would not be able to tell the difference.
If somebody's looking that closely at your legs.
At my ankles, yeah. So, but when you put it like this, you can certainly see it. A twisted rib has, I find, a denser, makes a denser fabric. It's still elastic, but makes a denser fabric. The 1x1 makes a looser fabric. It's definitely much more elastic.
Yeah.
But, user's preference. I didn't care enough to go back, for this. They're both going to fit my feet well. But I just thought that was interesting. I was like knitting. I had just finished the ribbing. And I said the other night, I was like, oh no. Kevin's like, what? And I told him.
Isn't that like the worst sound when somebody's crafting and you hear the oh no?
There's a different tone of... You can say oh no a few times, and to do different things like, oh no, I dropped a stitch. But when you hear like... there's defeated, a tone.
It's the oh no.
Because when I hear it from Kevin, my heart drops because I know that he's going to put the project down and walk away and never see it again. But I had that, oh no. But then I was like, yeah, doesn't matter. So that's that. This is just my on-the-go knitting.
Great job.
Thanks so much.
All right.
But I need to get it done because I have some other socks that I want to cast on. Some self-striping.
And my next project is knitting or sit living in my Tanny Casey bag that we got at Maryland Sheep and Wool.
These are so good too.
This...
I wish I had gotten one of her bags.
Is another sweater. This is so basic. I've been wanting to knit this for a year to 2 years, if not longer. And I am using Holst Garn Super Soft in the colorway Glacier.
Beautiful.
So another cone.
Gorgeous.
And I looked at their site recently just to get an idea of what the cones cost.
Yeah.
Without shipping, they run around $30 to $40 for 500 grams, right?
That's like 5 skeins of yarn.
Yes. So it's a really, really affordable option. Mm-hmm. The other thing to keep in mind with Holst, and we forgot to talk about it a little bit with yours, is because there's the oil in it, right? So they don't wash the yarn after it's been dyed and all that good stuff. So that's why it's at such a good price point. But what that also means is because it hasn't been washed, any leftover dye hasn't been washed out. So it can bleed quite a bit that first initial wash. So you did yours in Dawn dish soap to get out the oil.
Twice.
Yeah, you did it twice. And the first time, the amount of dye, there was a bunch. So knowing how like dyeing in yarn works, if you do something like that, like I said to Ray, in the future, I would recommend not letting it sit in there for a while, because that's why your colors will bleed, is the amount of time that you have the yarn sitting there. By having it in water, it opens up the fibers, which also allows it to take in dye. So when I'm preparing to dye, I let my yarn soak for a minimum probably of an hour, if I can, overnight, because you want the fibers open so that they will take in the dye. So by putting this in a bath, you're allowing that same thing to happen. So the longer it sits in there, the better chance you have of having dye go into areas that you don't.
That you don't want it to go.
Don't want it to. Yeah. So for me, it's not an option. It's not going to be an issue because I'm doing one color. So last time you guys saw this, it was cast on. And what you didn't see off camera is I ripped it out on Wednesday because I was off a couple stitches with my raglan. And I didn't want to try to figure out how to...
Oh, you can start seeing the patterning. That's
yeah,
nice. That's cool.
How to fix that. So, and I wasn't far enough in where it upset me. So I did rip it out and I cast on again this past Wednesday. And I've spent all my time knitting, getting to past where I was. I'm now a third of the way through my raglan increases. And you can start seeing the detail, the minor detail on the raglan. Mm-hmm. So that's very nice. On the
sleeve, the shoulder.
On the sleeve.
Yeah.
What else? So I'm knitting the, what size? So basic.
I think the 4th.
No. So remember, I'm doing the same thing you did. I'm knitting the third side because my gauge was larger. Mm-hmm. I was getting more stitches per 4 inches than the pattern called for.
So you were a tighter gauge.
Will that give me a bigger fabric?
No. So
then I'm looser.
Correct.
I was getting less stitches over 4 inches. So when I did the math, and I talked about it in a couple episodes, I actually need to watch that again so I can remember what I did.
Yeah, figure out what you did, because if you got less stitches and your gauge was looser, you would need to go down a needle size. Oh, so you went down a size.
I'm sticking with the needle size recommended and going down a sweater size. That's what you did with yours.
That is.
Right? So I'm following the same...
Mine turned out well.
Right. So I'm the same thinking that you did is that I liked the fabric with the needle size. So I stuck with the recommended needle and I'm going down a sweater size because based on my gauge, I'll get a larger circumference and it'll fit my chest. So I'm doing the third size, which is 41.5 inches, and I'm hoping that it will actually end up being closer to the 45.5 inch one.
The good thing about this pattern is that there's not a lot of difference between the sizes.
Pattern. Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're jumping from 40 inches to 47 inches,
right,
or, whatever. There's a nice little middle ground in there, so you have some room to play with, which will still get you some positive ease.
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, and then the way that blooms, it's incredible.
I don't remember which... This was the swatch I went with. So I liked this fabric. Mm-hmm. So when I measured my gauge... And I do a really long swatch... Because, again, I'm not worried about row gauge because that you can easily adjust. Mm-hmm. So I do a really long, thin one so I can measure in multiple spots.
Yeah.
Like, I start over here, I'll measure in the middle, I'll measure on this side, I'll measure up here and down at the bottom and right in the middle. So I can get an all-over type of gauge. So I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll measure it again today just to be safe.
Yeah.
Because I forget now.
Please, because you're at a point now where you need to...
Oh, and that was the other thing. Remember, I lost a stitch marker on here, so I didn't know where my beginning of round was either.
Yeah.
So, yes. So now this will go...
You did a good job with the cast on. I think I struggled with that a little bit.
Actually, I thought the cast on worked out well.
Yeah, his directions were really good. I don't think I had a consistent tension when I was doing it, but yours looks good.
Thank you. I didn't like it the first time I cast on. I've cast this on probably 4 times because I wasn't happy with my ribbing at one point. I think I messed something up. It was too stretched out. I made a mistake with the raglan. So it's come out quite a bit, but now I'm in a really good flow with it. And I'm at the point now where I can just do the 30 minutes a day that I wanted to do and make progress on it. And have it ready for Rhinebeck this year. So that's where we are now. This will go now to 30 minutes a day. And that's that.
Cool.
Actually, hold on.
I don't know that.
Nobody was talking to you, lady. That was the smart device. I'm knitting this on a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And then the ribbing is a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. Mm-hmm. And that is all my projects.
Great. Okay. I have one more that I worked on. And this is the Oslo hat by Petite Knits. This is a very popular pattern. I'm sure you've all seen it, but I will show you the pattern again. So this is the Oslo hat there. It's basically a triple brimmed hat, beanie, pretty fitted on the top of the head. I am using Les Garçons in their BFL Twist DK. The colorway is Vincent in Atlantis. It's really, really a beautiful, beautiful color.
Yeah, very nice.
So I didn't put a progress or a keeper on it, so I don't know exactly where I was, but this is where I am currently. So this is the folded brim of the hat. I will share this. It's a paid for pattern. There's a lot of talk about this where you're reversing your knitting, and it was like getting some people hung up, and I'll admit that I kind of got hung up as well because I was kind of confused. There's a part in the pattern where you're doing some short rows and working the opposite direction. And I'm like, well, how is that possible? Do I then need to reverse that again to get back to the right side? So I will share this tidbit. If you're gonna do this, maybe it'll make it a little bit more clear for you, because it did for me. When you cast on the hat and you're working down the hat, and you fold in the brim and all of the things that you do in the beginning that you think is the right side of the hat, that actually turns into the wrong side of the hat. So the reverse side of the hat. So when you are doing that short row, you turn your work around, you kind of flip your work inside out like this, and then now this becomes the right side of your work. So this is what you're going to be wearing on your head facing outwards. It took me some time to really comprehend that. I'm not sure why, but in case anybody else was struggling with that just helped me, because you start this way. Let me just flip this around. So you start this way, and so you do your folded brim, and then you knit a little bit more, and then here is where it tells you to like turn your work, and so work the wrong side. So I just like turned my work and did the short row and worked the wrong side, and then I was like, okay, I guess I come back to complete the hat. But that's not what you do. You turn it around and then you flip it inside out. And so now this is now the right side of the hat. So this feature here, this is where you can see my seam, where I folded the brim together. And then there's a little section, like a knitted section on the wrong side now that is here. It helps when you fold up that brim. It helps create a really cool edge on the bottom. I don't have enough fabric yet to do that, but this all becomes hidden once you fold in the hat. I hope that makes sense. So I have a little bit more to go, maybe another inch, I think, before I start my decreases, and then this should be done. But this is how the yarn looks knitted up. I think it's really, really pretty.
Very nice.
And I'm so obsessed with these. You are. Things. I'm starting a collection.
He is.
I got a couple more that we'll talk about in a moment. And yeah, so that's that. It's a DK weight yarn. I believe the pattern itself calls for yarn to be held together, but I'm just doing a single strand of DK, and I'm using the recommended needles.
And you're doing the medium size.
I'm doing the medium size,
not the large.
Right. So you did the large, and it was jihugic. When we were at Pick Up Every Stitch, we saw that Kim from Knit Together with Kim and Jonna had knit an Oslo hat in Maxim Vincent's yarn, and it looked really, really nice. And I put it on; it fit me like really well. And she said that she knit they call it the lady size, but it's really the medium size in the pattern. Those aren't my words. So yeah, I did that, and I think it's going to fit really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and now we'll talk some yarn dyeing, because that's what we do here.
Oh, yeah, so we're done.
We're done with all of our
I do have a future cast on that I do want to talk about.
Well, these are all finished objects.
I'm excited. You're right. Carry on.
All right, so first...
remember these mugs? This is so fun. This is
right.
Polly mug.
Polly Studio.
Polly Studio.
All right, let's see. Okay, so I added all these to the shop recently. So we have rhubarb. This is all 75-25. So rhubarb.
I feel like I haven't seen this in a while.
I haven't dyed it in a while.
Yeah.
Fancy flannel.
Oh, that's a good one too. Hey,
I love this together. Maybe. Frozen Grasshopper.
Yeah.
Which these two will be, these are 75-25 fingering. I have them both on 75-25 DK, so they'll be in the shop later on this week. Then I did Bejeweled.
Yeah, this is a really pretty one too. I love this, like, deep.
So you got, and then some speckles in there. And then this is like a newer version of Ocean Jasper because the dye that I used to dye originally is not available. So I messed around with creating a dye to kind of get the same feel.
Yeah, it's great.
So that's Ocean Jasper. And then I did some tonals. So this one is Hay Bale.
It's good.
So these are all on 100% superwash fingering. So
it's very golden. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one I've done before. I just did a restock. What's that? This is Winter Steel. So it's a light gray with a bit of blue.
It definitely leans on the blue side.
It has some blue undertones for sure, but
Yeah.
it's a really, really light gray. And Olivia, our friend Olivia, she just finished a sweater out of this with a mohair, which was really pretty.
I wonder if I can find that.
This one I'm calling Freshly Brewed. It reminded me of like coffee grounds and coffee and tea, kind of. I don't know why. Or iced tea. Or like freshly brewed tea. So that's what it is. It's a really like deep orangey brown, kind of. So Freshly Brewed. This is Ballet Slippers. A really...
She's so cute.
Light pink.
This is the Winter Steel and Knit Pixel Loft held together.
Very pretty.
Very pretty. Hi, Olivia.
This is Red Wine.
Red wine.
So it is red. I would say this... can't tell. This looks too red.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Is that accurate? Or is that too red in camera?
It's too red in camera. That's
probably more accurate.
closer.
And let's see what else.
It's very like it's beautiful. It's like burgundy-ish.
This is What's Up, Buttercup.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is a deep navy. This is Inkblot. This one is called Mystique. It reminded me of Mystique from X-Men.
You have so many colors. It's lovely.
And these are two that will be in later in the week. This one might be called... So it's funny because they both look like... I thought this and this were the same. Clearly different. But they're same
close.
family.
Yeah.
Because they're both orangey browns. This one will probably be... I was going to go pumpkin spice or it's going to be roasted pumpkin. I haven't decided which one yet. And then
somebody's driving their motorcycles.
Again, a very similar... They're the same family, but there's just this... They don't look very different on there.
No,
but they look very different in like this one is
darker.
More brown.
Yeah.
This one is more yellow.
Yeah.
This one you thought Rapunzel.
I thought Rapunzel.
Maybe it's Goldilocks.
Okay. Goldilocks is cute.
I don't know. I don't know what this one is yet.
Yeah, it's very like golden blonde.
I have to...
In person.
I dyed up this one.
No, you can see the difference.
Yeah, it's definitely just lighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to figure out what this one is going to be called and dye up more of it because I only have this one. Because I was just like testing some yarn, combining some dye stocks together.
Doing a little experimentation. I forgot to put all this stuff back.
That's
I'm
right.
so sorry.
So that's all in the shop. This I'll dye more of because I only have the one skein. This actually went pretty quickly. I didn't have many. I had like 6, but I'll dye up more of this week because I really like this blue. So that's been my adventures in dyeing.
I love it. It's so good. So, check out our shop if you haven't. already. It's on Etsy.
It's still on Etsy. I'm still working on the website.
Yep.
That will be coming soon.
Yep. You have a call with an expert.
I do. And then I have... Do you have Owl Post? You do.
Mm-hmm. I have some Owl Post. Can I talk about upcoming project, though? I'll be very quick.
Yeah. What project?
So Bare Naked Wools, who I am the yarn that the Stone Soup DK, they do apparently every year, which I didn't know about until Maryland. Our friend Sue was telling us about it. They do a mystery knit along, but they call it a WAL. I'm not sure what it stands for. I thought it was maybe work along or wool along. It might be called wool along. Who am I looking for?
Bare Naked Wools?
Bare Naked Wools. I started typing wool. So anyway, this year's it's a wool along. Mystery wool along. It goes from June 17th to July 29th. Oh, they had a really cool picture. So this year, it's going to be a hap shawl. You can choose either a square version or a triangle version. I opted for the square version because I feel like I would like to maybe use it as a little lap blanket or something. Plus, I like to wrap myself around in it. I think it's going to be... Usually those types of shawls have some sort of lace work along the edging. I've never really done lace, so I'm going to try it. I wish I can find that inspiration picture that they had. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I'd be able to find it. So here's the mystery wool along. So that's kind of what a hap shawl looks like. Here. So I did the square version.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the colors are going to be or anything like that. I have them all set up already in my new Jesslyn B bag. The packaging was so cool when it came. They're all packaged in these cute old newspaper articles and stuff, and they're all labeled A through E, I believe. I opened one because we got to a little preliminary clue to start casting on if we wanted to. They just have the cast on and the setup, which is only 8 stitches, so I'm not even gonna do that. But I did cake up the yarn. I cannot wait to show it. I will say it smells so sheepy that I'm so excited.
I'm at the farm.
I'm at the farm. I'm so excited. I don't know if they have any of these kits left over, but it's something that I've just learned about, and I think it's something very different for me. And I'm
a mystery knit along?
No. Whatever. I stand behind.
You've never done one of those before?
Shush. I stand, I don't know why I stand. I don't stand. But I can't wait to show you. Anyway, so coming soon to a podcast near you, I will be sharing my progress and hopefully catching up. Share below if you're joining this year as well. There's going to be some Zoom get-togethers. I'm planning on going to them all as well so that we can kind of chat and see everybody's progress. The colors are a mystery. Everything is a mystery.
Fun.
That's all. That's what's coming up next on my needles.
All right. Here. So we have some.
Oh.
Happy
That's all I have.
Some owl posts, and this is from Lauren, who works at Knit New Haven. She is also a yarn dyer.
And we've showed some of her of her things before.
Yeah,
and
you've purchased
really pretty.
Some from there. So this is her company's called Knit and Word, and she sent us 2 skeins on her Dahlia base, which is 55% superwash BFL and 45% silk.
Look at the shine.
There's about 438 yards in here, and this is called Truth universally acknowledged. So it's like this really light peach and like a pink in it.
Yeah.
This one is called...
There's a little like yellow undertone in here too.
What Are Men to Rocks and Mountains? So you got some greens and yellows, oranges, gray, and this one. It's very soft, very shiny from the silk. So we are going to use these as a giveaway, correct?
Yes, as a giveaway. We're going to put them as part of Let's Hear It for the Boys.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Yeah. So it's nice for us to be able to share some local dyers from our area. I love getting yarn from other areas. So it's just our way of kind of like adding to that and sending a little bit of New Haven, Connecticut out your way.
This is from her Pride and Prejudice series.
Yeah.
Or theme.
Yeah. Super cool. So you can find her Knit in Word on Instagram. We'll have her shop linked down below. It's knitinword.com.
So thank you, Lauren.
Super cool. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, we saw her briefly yesterday.
Briefly. She dropped off a couple of swatches to hang on the poles.
Okay. And then we have purchases.
Yes. So this came...
or Breaking the Bank.
Breaking the Bank. This is part of... We are subscribers to Pom Pom Magazine. So the latest edition of Pom Pom came. Their Summer Crush. Not article. What's it called? Summer Crush issue. There are a lot of really cool patterns in here. Very bright, lightweight tank tops. There's bags, crochet things. I think they're beautiful. It's unfortunate though. There's Kevin and I were looking through this, and which is one of the reasons why we like to do the Let's Hear It for the Boys make along, is that there's not a single male in the book.
Yeah.
So for us, and not saying that we couldn't wear something like like that or whatever, but it's hard to envision what a body type like ours would look like in some of these knitted fabrics. And again, it's so nice, and besides the tank top that I knit, it's especially summertime. Summertime for us is very difficult. So
knitted
for
garments.
Ourselves, for knitted garments. But it's a beautiful issue.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It's super colorful. There's really cute bags and stuff in here. It was just one of those things that was just a little bit of a disappointment for us from our perspective.
Yeah.
But
it's
other
still
than
beautiful.
that, it's still beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're interested, check out Pom Pom. There's some really, like I said, like this is really cool. Like this is clever. Like,
I like
I've never
the
seen
bag.
anything like that.
If I was a crocheter, I would do the bag on the
I
back.
might do the bag,
but
I could probably pull off the bag.
It could be a gift. It would be a really nice gift bag.
It would. Really.
And that's actually something him and we've talked about, is that it's really nice to get these books, and there's a lot of patterns here, and there's a lot of patterns
this hat is cute too. Like that would make a nice, cute little gift.
Right. That we see that we wouldn't necessarily wear.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to, I don't know, like, about knitting something. Like, let's say we wanted to knit an adult female the Love Note, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do we get their measurements to do it as a gift without saying, hey, can we have your measurements so we can make you a gift? Type of thing.
We could just collect, like, ask our family in general, just as like a statement. Maybe send them a form. A form that they can fill out
all this information
for any future projects that you may or may not receive as a gift.
We need your bust size. We need your arm length, your torso length. We need your shoe size.
Yeah, include your feet too.
Maybe
Sounds
we
really
might do
creepy.
that. It's weird.
It is weird, but hey.
So, I think the only other thing we have is our stuff from Knit New Haven yesterday.
I did so well.
I did not.
Wait, where's the rest of my stuff?
Is it in here?
Yeah, I bought another one.
Oh,
that's okay.
No, it's right here. So again,
there's another one. This one's for my mom. She didn't take it.
Oh, here it is.
Wait, no, I'm just kidding. That's all.
All right, you go first.
No, that's all.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Why?
Is that all you bought?
No, that's what I'm saying. You go.
All right, so I'm obsessed with those stitch stoppers. Knit New Haven now carries them, and it was dangerous. Me and my mom kind of stood around the basket and picked through every single one, and they were just so cute. It was really difficult to choose, but I still chose. So these are for my mother. Her birthday is June 26th, so these are part of her birthday gift. She knows already. Look at the cute little bumblebees.
Very cute.
Very cute. And then I got for myself some sheep. I got the white ones. They had brown and black as well, I think, or red. And I also got these. So this is by Fox and Pines Stitches, by the way. And we'll have their shop linked down below. These, I thought they were yaks, but they're actually cows. I forgot the breed. If you know, link it, say so down below. But Linda from Knit New Haven told me what type of cow that was, and I cannot remember what it was. But look how cute with his little hair in his eyes and everything. Or her eyes. Who knows?
Their eyes.
Their eyes. So yeah. Stitch stoppers, more to my collection. I need to get a cute little bag to put them all in. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it's so fun to have a bag full of stitch stoppers.
Totally.
So, I made purchases and I only
This is
spent
a pretty color. I didn't see this.
I only spent $12 of my own money because it was all gift cards and stuff like that. So, I have to support Brooklyn Tweed and Dapple since I misspoke previously. But this was on sale at
Dapple is not being discontinued. I don't know if you
not.
got the memo.
I'm a liar.
Boo boo.
So I got some Dapple. I'm going to do the t-shirt that Ray did. So this is in the colorway Current. So it's a nice, like, dark, really deep purple. And it's got, like, you know, the Tweety bits in it.
Are you going to do the t-shirt or the tank? Is it tank top?
Tank top, I meant.
Oh. You could certainly put sleeves on it.
So I got 4 skeins. That's what Ray got. So 4 skeins of their DK Dapple. So this is 65 and 45, right? Am I miss? 60% merino, 40% organic cotton.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice. The colorway is Current. Did you say that? I'm sure you did.
And then I got another ball of Remix Light to do a sweater that they have hanging there. So this will be for one niece, and I have a ball to do one for the other niece.
Oh, very cute.
So the reason I picked this, her name is Eloise, and I believe it is based on Elle from Legally Blonde. Elle's favorite color is pink, so I went with like an Elle pink. That's what it made me think of. I wanted a hat out of this colorway, not the hat that I'm thinking of, but I love this colorway.
Is that?
This is in Shelter, though.
Oh.
Instead of Loft. I've been looking for it in Loft, and I haven't been able to find it yet. But I bought Hayloft in Shelter to do a Brooklyn Tweed hat. It's either going to be Snare.
Look at the little like color specs and stuff in there.
So it's either going to be Snare by Brooklyn Tweed or the Cool Hoss.
Oh, Cool Hoss would be cool in that one.
Well,
all the cabling.
I also
don't know what Snare is.
Artifact.
What's Artifact?
The colorway.
Oh.
So this is Shelter. The colorway is Artifact. It's a really nice, deep, dark green.
Yeah.
So this will be the opposite. This will either be Snare or Cool Hoss, whichever
I'm not familiar
way
with Snare.
I decide to go. And then lastly, this is actually no longer being produced, is Brooklyn Tweed
Don't
Perry.
lie.
No, seriously. Brooklyn Tweed Perry is being discontinued. So this was also on sale because it's being discontinued. So I wanted to get enough, again, for another fingering weight hat. And I saw one as I was scrolling through projects 2 nights ago, and I know that it called for Perry. I didn't know how many skeins, so I figured 3 would be enough.
Twisted Stitch Brimmed Cap. This is the Snare.
Yeah, I have the pattern already.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. I don't know if you could really...
So I might do Snare in this color, because that's kind of what it looks like, and then do Cool Hoss in this one.
It's a handsome guy.
But yeah, I've really been wanting to knit another hat.
How do I make this large? No. I've been trying... How did you do that?
I don't know. And I think that's all of it.
Oh,
right? So now we're moving on to what we've been reading and watching. Yeah, it's a very nice texture.
It is very nice.
It's hard to see.
I know. Oh, that's better.
Actually,
it almost, you know what? It's almost reminiscent of the snow globe. The way that the cables are. There you go. That's a much better view. So that's snare. I think I screwed up my entire phone, but that's okay. Okay. Carry on, carry on.
so here's one that I'll do.
Oh yeah, Cool House is so
Cool
nice.
House.
Yeah. We haven't shown a paper pattern in a while.
I know.
Fortnite. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
How fun.
I don't know if snare's in here.
I think that was such a cool idea.
It was. No, I don't have snare in here, I don't think.
Okay.
All right. So that's that. Let's talk about reading and watching, I guess.
Is that where we're on right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can do watching, but just an FYI for reading. I've been including, even though we haven't talked about what we've been reading for probably about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Or
it's been
3 or 4 podcasts because they've just been so long. I have been leaving a running list under our show notes of all of the things that we have been reading. So we'll touch base on all of those, but just to give you a heads up. You'll see it look like we're finished a bunch of stuff in our show notes, but it's just because we haven't had a chance to talk about them yet. So watching. Do you want to do watching?
Watching, the only thing that we've really watched
was...
Excuse me. We watched Shazam! Fury of the Gods the other night, and it was enjoyable. Mm-hmm. You know, nothing... They didn't reinvent the hero.
No.
It got hero genre.
Yeah, it was silly at times, very campy.
But I enjoyed
it. It wasn't like a Marvel. Like we really enjoy like the big cinematic.
Yeah.
Like
it was good.
Yeah, I thought
not
it was
excellent.
No, I
but
don't think
it was good.
It was alright.
Yeah. What else did we watch? I think that's really it. Honest to gosh, we haven't been. We watched Lord of the Rings extended edition. Oh. Because I did like when
all 3 of them.
Yeah, and we watched Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But we watched Lord of the Rings when I don't know what to watch or we don't know what to watch and we just need some background noise.
Yeah.
We typically go Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Marvel,
or Harry Potter.
Or Harry Potter. Like those are the 4 go-to things that we throw on off the top of my head. So we did the extended editions from HBO Max, and they run like 4.5 hours. Yeah. So it takes a couple days to watch with like breaks and dinner and all that stuff. Yeah. But
I think I did some homework while I was like...
Yeah, they're quite enjoyable to watch though. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we haven't really watched all that much. We didn't start any new shows.
No.
There's a lot of nice things. Nice things. There's a lot of
shows
out there that look interesting. But...
Yeah. In reading, I'm going to kind of go through...
Yeah, I don't...
A few. Let me go back to our show notes. Let's go to pages. So, I finished a couple books that I thought... So, book number 1, I mentioned it really briefly a couple weeks ago, but Fourth Wing is hands down one of my favorite books. Mm-hmm. It is quite long. Is this in here? Yeah, so it's by Rebecca Yarros. This is a high fantasy book. It takes place in another world. The main character, Violet, has spent her entire life training to become a scribe, and her mother forces her to attempt to become a dragon rider. So there's dragon and magic, and the dragon, the person's magic is tied to their dragon. They only get it once their dragon gives it to them. So this takes place at a war college. The country has been at war for 600 years. And the relationship between the dragon riders very much like Aragon, kind of. Mm. It reminds me of Aragon, kind of Hunger Games, Ender's Game, and the one with Triss. Divergent, kind of all crushed into one and taking different aspects from it, but it's just so well written, and I love the characters. I love the world building. I would say maybe there hits a little bit of a lull somewhere in the middle of the book, but I thoroughly enjoyed it where I want to read it again. And I know that there's going to be 5 books in the series. Book number 2 will be coming out in November, but I highly recommend that book if you like high fantasy.
Great.
I also finished in that time a book called Woods of the Raven by Mary Calms. It's a male super or paranormal romance. It takes place in New York in a small town. The main character, whose name escapes me right now because it's been like a month since I've watched or read it. Yeah. His family has been a protector of the land there for hundreds of years. And they call him almost like a kitchen witch, but he gets a lot of his power. My favorite book. He gets his power from the land. It's just a really cute story. I love the characters and I love the relationship with them. Something happens, the land, where somebody's trying to break through a portal on the land and he has to defend it. And it's really cute because a lot of people in the town know about him and it's not like super common knowledge that he is a witch. I just thought it was really, really cute. And then I am currently reading a series. It's another male paranormal romance. This is Angels and Demons. This was a really surprising book for me. It's called Fractured Souls by Ava Marie Salinger, is book number 1. So your characters are Cassius and Morgan. In this book, a portal was opened to the nether and angels and demons fell to earth. And by them doing so and humans being exposed to this type of magic, 10% of the human population now has some form of magic. Yeah. And there are 4 bureaus of the government now that specialize in like one group's safety, I'll say. So there's like Hexa, Kabbalists, Argonauts, and one other one. Mm-hmm. And none of the characters who fell, so the angels or demons, have any recollection of anything that happened prior to the fall. So they don't know anything about themselves. They don't remember it. Some of them get it a little bit in like dreams or flashbacks, but they don't know a lot. So a lot of the book is, there's some parts of it where they're trying to figure out who they were, and a little bit's coming back to them. It's graphic, so if graphic's not your thing, don't read it. Sometimes I just skip over all that.
Naughty graphic or
naughty graphic. So sometimes I skip over it if it's too much. If it's not impacting their actual relationship, sometimes I just skim over and find the actual
safe zone.
Yeah, but I enjoy Morgan and Cassius. I like them. Cassius has been... He's used very weirdly, these 4 agencies. They go to him when they need help because they can't figure stuff out, but then they also portray him as a not so great angel. Mm-hmm. So he's not seen in the best light by the human population because of that. So it's a weird relationship that he has with the world. But yeah, and now I'm reading the second book in the series called Spellbound.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. I don't know what we talked about, so if we talked about these already, sorry. But the list that I have in front of me, I finished The House at the End of the World by Dean Koontz. I know I talked at length about this a couple of podcasts ago. I'm not sure if I talked about the finish of it, but it ended pretty well, I thought. It was very action-packed, like edge of my seat at times. Dean Koontz does a really good job building the world. He spends a lot of time kind of describing the actions of the characters in the book. Like, it's not just like, Ray went to the refrigerator. It's, Ray took 4 steps, skipped the crack on the floor, creaked the refrigerator door open, peeked inside as the light came on. Those kind of things. What's wrong?
I thought I heard like a knock. Maybe it was just the chair moving. I'm sorry.
Maybe it was Dean Koontz. Wasn't very happy. Oh, that was at that.
I think so.
The chair creaking. But anyway, it was. I'm not going to ruin it, but there was some. Not paranormal, but
sci-fi.
Sci-fi, yeah, sci-fi. Thank you. So it was definitely sci-fi elements. But all in all, I recommend the book. I thought it was really well done. The next book that I do not recommend, I had a hard time with. I listened to it, Reckless Magic by Rachel Higginson. I think the concept of the book is really cool. It's like high school, typical girl goes to high school, realizes that it's a special school for people with magic, but she doesn't have magic. But wait, she actually does. We're not quite sure what type of magic she has, and young teen angst mixed in there. There's like a court system, royal court system in the magic world there. I don't know who narrated it, but I had a hard time with Audible. I didn't really care for the narrator at all. I thought she had too much emotion where there didn't need to be any emotion. Like everything was like exciting, even though it didn't need to be. My opinion, totally. But I would probably read the rest of the series at some point in my life. I just wouldn't listen to it if it's the same author, if that makes sense. So I do not recommend the Audible version of that book, Reckless Magic. The next book that I finished was The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. That was book number 1. It's by Carissa Broadbent. This was an interesting book. I'm actually reading the second one now actively. The second book is called The Ashes and the Star-Crossed King, which is Crowns of Nyasia series number 2. And it's cool. It's vampires, but there are 4 factions of vampires. Basically, each vampire from that faction has a different way to identify themselves. They have wings as vampires in this series, so each of the factions have different style wings, and there's like ruling families and how you become an heir to that throne in that kingdom. Again, I don't want to give too much away. The first book starts with a huge competition for. It's kind of like Hunger Games-esque. All the competitors are thrown into one area, and there are challenges and different things, and people get eliminated by being killed, and the winner is the last person standing at the end of the competition. I think the competition lasts 4 months or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a long time. Gets to have their wish granted by the god Nyaxia. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Nyaxia. And it could be pretty much whatever you want your gift to be. So the main character, as you can probably imagine, spoiler alert, wins the competition, chooses a gift that you don't think that she would choose, and that was pretty much how the book 1 ended. It was really cool. Left me on the edge of my seat. Started book 2. Book 1 had one instance of relations, but it was fine. It was very descriptive, but it was placed appropriately in the story, which I don't mind details. I don't mind the juicy details, no pun intended. As long as it is makes sense. It's not like you're in the middle of a sentence and you're frisky. So the second book, same thing. There are naughty bits in it, but they very descriptive, but makes sense where it is. Moves the story along, develops their relationship. I'm enjoying it. I probably will read the third one. They're very long books, though. So on my Kindle, it's probably about 11 or 12 hour reading. Yeah. So I'm almost done with this one. And I also am listening to Columbus Day by Craig Allenson. It is sci-fi as well. More from a military perspective. Okay. So it's really interesting. We find out that humans are not alone in the galaxy, and we become the we become the like a battleground between these other two worlds that have been warring for thousands of years. One of them is a race of hamsters, and the other one is a race of lizards. Of course, they're, adult size, our size, and they have varying levels of technology, and there's a whole system of like sponsorships and who's actually moving the pieces on the chessboard, and these two factions or worlds are being moved by different players. Earth gets involved. Of course, our main character is on the path to save Earth, even though we are so far behind on technology. It's entertaining. I'm listening to this on Audible, like I think I said. The narrator is absolutely fantastic. He does a great job. He's got like a gruffy voice, perfect for this kind of militaristic style book. He actually narrated Helldivers, which I think I talked about. I did finish that as well. Same narrator. I think he does a great job. He actually didn't have an opportunity to do a lot of different voices in Helldivers, but he's doing some different voices in this book. Not to an extreme where you're like, okay, dude, like that was a nice try, but you don't sound like a hamster, like whatever.
Yeah.
He's actually doing a really good job, and putting them in appropriately. So I'm enjoying Columbus Day. I don't know if there's a second one or not, but it's very different than what I've been reading. It's kind of reminiscent of Helldivers, and there was what was that book that I read or I listened to? Project Hail Mary. That was so good. It's kind of reminiscent of that type of humor and storytelling in there.
Nice.
Yeah, so Craig Allenson seems to be an author that I might like. I like his style.
A narrator.
Sense of humor. No.
Author. Okay.
I don't know who the narrator is.
Okay.
I apologize. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. I'm sorry if I already talked about those books, but
yeah,
that's where we are. So now we're all caught up. You'll see all of those listed down below in our show notes. Who reads them, you can Google them and do what you want. And
I think that's all we have. This is short. We are short. Under 2 hours. Wow. Look at us go. Good job.
Because we
focused on... We don't have a lot of projects because we focused on specific ones.
Yeah.
So... And
we did good.
So, y'all, thank you.
What do we have coming up for us? Anything?
No. We have... So, don't forget to... No.
Okay, good.
Don't forget to check Woolens and Nosh's website. Make sure your comment says Woolens and Nosh and then the colorway that you like from her site. We will pick winners for the spring cleaning mail and show it on the next episode.
Great. Along with the prizes.
And then we have Let's Hear It for the Boys. So the Ravelry threads are up, and use the hashtag NATRBoys 2023.
Just a reminder, we're not pulling a winner from that, I don't think.
No. Just from the
but we would love to see your progress, and I'm sure everybody else would like to see what you're sharing and working on.
So thank you for...
sorry. Speaking of Let's Hear It for the Boys, on Ravelry, I figured out the bundle. There's the bundle option or feature on Ravelry. I need some help there. So I was going to ask if anybody is interested in being helping be a moderator on our Ravelry page, who can kind of help organize some of that stuff. If you can, send me a message on Ravelry, not on our email address or any of that stuff, specifically on Ravelry, so I can kind of take a look at your project pages and things like that, and maybe we can work out something where you can help us moderate the channel.
Good job.
Thanks. My Ravelry name is linked down below. So I'll be checking that periodically. If you don't hear from me right away, just give it some time. Just send me that you're interested in maybe being a moderator, and list if you've been a moderator before on other places and all of those fun things. Please.
Sounds good.
Because I really want to do, it's so hard working full time and going to school
and all the other stuff.
All that to do everything that we want to do.
So I think that is everything. Thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate y'all. And
did you guys notice the whole time I didn't have a beard?
I bet they did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to sneak in. It's coming back.
Sure.
No, it is. I can't do it.
Okay. We'll see. All right. So we will see you guys in
a fortnight.
Until then, have some fun. Bye, guys.
Au revoir.